Hello, everyone, and welcome to Smalltalk, episode 19. This is the Smallville retrospective rewatch podcast. I'm one third of your co-hosts. My name is Ryan Can. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I can best describe these three episodes as one very forgettable episode and just two episodes of absolute heartbreak, but more on that in just a minute. But first, from 3D Movie Cinema, it is Jacob Collins, who is being represented tonight by the Peacemaker.
I don't care how many women, children, and women and children I have to kill to get peace. I'll
Oh,
get
those
it.
action figures are so weird. It's like the box is invisible. I can't see anything in there.
I know, right? It's like you can't see him. If you ever played wrestling or ever have watched wrestling with John Cena, you will get that reference. I'm like, ah ha ha ha.
And his name is John Cena.
I
By the
and
way,
like I
cue
and like
clip,
five people will get that reference.
cue clip of him doing this.
Pretty much, yeah. But also from his own channel, Matt Wyatt. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I can't wait to get into like the Shattered in Asylum
Oh yeah.
episodes. The Magnetic, I will agree, it's a forgettable episode.
Last week his takes were so hot that I was like, damn, I guarantee he's probably gonna say me and Ryan are probably gonna like Shatter or Silent Matt's like, you know what? Shatter was kind of weak compared to Magnetic. I was like, what?
Let's save round two for another time. Let's get into the shaft before we get into the gold mine. This is season 3, episode 7, called Magnetic.
We're not together anymore, and that was your choice.
Now a new love will make a good girl go bad.
Just cleared out the register. You ruined her life being with him.
Are you stalking me?
All new Smallville on the WB Wednesday.
After being hit in the forehead by a snow globe containing flakes of meteor rocks in a struggle at a local carnival, because blood feuds have been struck up over much less. The teenager Seth Nelson is given an MRI, giving him magnetic abilities. He uses his powers to date and manipulate Lana, who is starting to distance herself from Clark by trying to make him jealous. Meanwhile, a Snoopy investigator hired by Lex intrusively breaks into the torch and finds that Chloe Sullivan is examining deeply into the life of Lionel Luthor. Lex offers his protection to Chloe to help him investigate his father's past if he had anything to do with an apartment tenement fire that killed Lionel's parents. So yeah, this episode is a bunch of crap. It's not the worst, but man, this episode got off on the wrong foot with me, considering that literally this dude like got into a fight with like a 40-year-old man over a snow globe. I was just sitting there like, 40-year-old dude, you look like you have disposable income. You can just buy the thing. But no, it just like we got to get the Seth train going, I guess. But I don't know. What did you think, Jacob?
Well, also that was the stupidest thing ever. It's like Michael Rosenbaum said on. By the way, I'm gonna send the clip to you, or I'm gonna at least send the episode. I'm gonna send the episode, and we'll find the clip. But at the beginning of the episode of Talkville, this episode, Michael Rosenbaum goes, "This episode is like when he said." You go into the writer's room and they pitch this, and you're like, nah, what else you got?
See, in the pitch, I would have thought immediately, nope, moving on. Who's got the next idea? Snow globe, kryptonite in there? Yeah, no.
He said, this episode is just like one of those episodes you just forget about easily. It's like, this is the definition of a filler episode. And this is the definition of like, we don't want it, because Shattered, you could tell that is an important episode and we needed that, but it feels like, well, we kind of need something we need kind of to set up Shattered. So how do we do that? Okay, well, we'll have this filler episode. We'll put the good stuff with Lex in this episode, but then we'll just do this bullshit subplot with a guy with a snow globe. Which, by the way, don't snow globes win the snow globe? All right, for instance, this guy literally took a snow globe, smashed his head. Who gives out green snow globes? I don't know if I'd want a green snow globe, especially what carnival gives out snow globes? Okay, yeah. Teddy, I've never seen a carnival give out snow globes.
No, never ever. It's mostly like stuffed animals, like little
bubble gum or cotton candy.
Pretty much, yeah. So like, who does snow globes? I have no idea. Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a ridiculous episode. I don't like the whole situation of the magnetic dude. The whole trying to steal his Lana from Clark was so stupid. But at the one highlight of the episode was Chloe and Lex. The whole storyline about the investigator poking poking around and trying to steal what Chloe has, the hard drive on Lionel Luthor. and because she was investigating him about the connection of the murder of his parents. Which that, and then you see later on in the episode, you see them that they're about to, her and Lex are about to team up and try to take Lionel down. That was the only thing that pushed forward in the next episode of Shattered. But the whole side of the Meteor Freak episode was completely ridiculous. It was a side note to me. It was not necessary.
Yeah, I want to shout out
Also-
the actor Kevin Zegers who plays Seth. He was Terry in Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. So he's been in a couple of things and he was fine.
Wrong Turn.
But
Wrong Turn and Zoom.
yeah,
He
that's
was
a
in
good.
Wrong Turn and he was also in Zoom.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he was also, oh yeah, and he was in Airbud.
Yeah, fuck you. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say Airbud. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like these 3 episodes are very Luther heavy, and we'll talk about that when we get to Shattered and especially Asylum. But it's like everyone else just got put on the back burner almost, and it's like let's just focus all on the Luthers, which I mean, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But it's just like we need to have something for Lana to do, so let's give her another love interest who is going to be gone by the time the episode ends. And spoiler alert, he is.
Yeah, and let's have the magnetic guy who just manipulates his powers to get to Lana. Is she like why is everybody so obsessed with Lana? I don't understand. Like, is she the fucking Helen of Troy of this whole show?
Also, I have a question. So yeah, what is up with by the way, have you noticed at the beginning the promotional band playing? Like, if you could tell this was like, hey, the studio will put this band in at the beginning to play because their music is sponsored tonight's episode. So you have this band playing, and I'm just like, oh look, it's the promotional band of the week. And so then on top of that, you see his outfit. He's dressed like he works at Kmart, okay? Like, what carnival worker dresses like that, okay?
They wear a
Like,
vest at a
he wears
carnival?
vest.
Well, the
No, they
first-
don't they wear like polo shirts at a carnival? Because
They
I've
wear
been
like
to
shirts and like a
bunch.
shirt, like a t-shirt and like shorts. You know, like that's where he should be dressed like he's going to summer camp, not like he's going to work at Walmart
He
Well,
looked like he was
the first,
working at a movie theater.
or a
Yeah.
movie theater. Yes, that's right.
Well, the first Smalltalk fashion police of episode 3. This dude's outfit, thumbs
That's-
down.
Thumbs down. Sorry,
Thumbs
Seth.
down.
You worked at a carnival, not a movie theater. Maybe you should have reevaluated your wife, and you wouldn't have a snow globe smashed in your face.
Yeah, that was ridiculous that some 40-year-old biker dude wants so obsessed with getting a prize
That's
because
my
Lana
snow
got
globe. I've
That's-
seen the Santa Claus multiple times, and I want to see my Christmas magic.
You know, somehow the whole thing in Despicable Me where Gru completely destroys the carnival ride to get that big pony for Agnes seems a lot less ridiculous.
Knocked over!
Also,
he gets pissed off for not getting a free prize because Lana got the free prize. I was like, come on, dude, you don't need a snow globe.
Priorities.
yeah, and also, this is the second DC thing we've seen a snow globe smashed in. The first, you know what the first snow globe being smashed was?
Oh, I don't remember.
Batman and Robin. Mr. Freeze takes the snow
Oh,
globe.
right,
Oh.
yeah. Batman and Robin. No, I remember now. I know what you're talking about.
It's like when Poison Ivy and him are in the lair, and he goes in Gotham, and he smashes the snow
The
globe. And I'm,
fleas got them.
Honestly,
just
that's
like-
one of the better shots in that whole movie. I'll say it.
yeah, I will look. The movie has some good ideas.
Yeah.
It just is poorly executed. That's all.
It's a
Yeah.
shit movie, but it's a fun movie that we can be entertained and make fun of it.
There are some great moments in that movie. I will just say, you know, it's sad. Okay, fuck it. I'll tell you this. I just bought some McFarlane Batman and Robin figures because I remember having that movie and just like, you know what? I really enjoyed that movie as a kid, you know, and I really enjoyed that movie as a kid. And you know what? Look, I think it's a piece of shit now, but I watched that movie over and over and over again as a kid. And there's a couple of scenes I still think are great scenes. But then the rest of the movie is a pile of shit. Okay.
Oh yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid and fooled myself into liking Batman and Robin as a kid because we were kids. We were stupid. We didn't develop a brain when we watched that film when it came out. We just watched it because we were just being entertained. We love seeing Schwarzenegger. We love seeing Batman and Robin doing some action fight scenes. That's it.
There was one cool scene with Clooney where he basically, where after freezes the Batmobile, and then he just runs and he's like, ha ha ha, uh-oh. And then Batman just crashes through there and then does this with his cape and freezes like on the ground. I thought that scene was cool.
That was
He's-
funny.
Yeah,
I
but
thought that's
I love in this episode like the romance is not great, but
Oh God.
I was the entire time I was thinking to myself, this is Bonnie and Clyde. And then sure enough, I think Lex said, "Oh, Bonnie and Clyde just left." I'm like, is Rosenbaum reading my mind? Like, what's going on here?
also, when did
Well,
they become lab partners?
Even Pete Ross said Bonnie and Clyde when
That's
he
who
was
I meant.
mentioning what through that episode.
That's who I
And
meant.
you only saw Pete Ross for a brief moment. Didn't have a lot of screen time in this episode. He was completely thrown to the side.
Yeah, which I could remember. I was so many years old whenever I saw this, and I could have swore literally Lana has never seen this dude before. Okay, like when did they have a lab partners? Because I've seen episodes of Smallville of them in a lab, and not once did I see that dude sitting next to her. Usually it's Chloe that is sitting next to her. So
Yeah.
what the
Bro, I
hell?
mean, mostly in the school, Smallville High, they know everybody in the school,
Like,
essentially. Like, come
hey,
on.
guest star of the week. We were best friends.
Like,
Yeah,
since when? We didn't know anything about their
I
history.
don't know
Like,
this
what the
guy.
hell? They had history? Since when?
Yeah, it's just like
I guess they like to bring in like guest star characters that had history off screen.
it's like Ryan said. Remember when Lexus, his girlfriend, was introduced in season one? And it's like, lady, I don't even know you. Ryan's like, lady, I don't even know you. Like literally, for all you know, you're lying your ass off. And you're saying they're best, like they used to be a couple. I've never seen like it just that's how I felt. Like, dude, I've never seen you once. I did not see you once. Okay, so basically, this would have been funnier if it was like a stalker, and then of course he tried to get because he's
I mean,
obsessed with Lana.
he is kind of a stalker, and he's very obsessed with
He
Lana.
was a nice guy up until he touched Lana and said, "You're gonna go out." He became basically Killmonger from Jessica Jones or Kilgrave. Is it Kilgrave?
It's Kilgrave.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's basically just gonna say, "You're gonna do that." Like seriously, isn't he touches anybody and then he has two different fucking powers in this episode. He touches somebody and makes them do what he wants, and then the other one is he can use his powers and like
Like
telepathically.
Magneto.
I'm like,
Kind of like
what the
Magneto.
fuck? Choose a lane and go with it. Don't sit there and choose
Isn't it like a
fucking lane.
Is it like electromagnetism thing when he got the
Yes,
MRI when he
they're
got the
trying to.
powers? I think that might have been the case. I mean,
They're
I'm
trying
no
to get.
expert in how that shit works.
How does that
Suddenly he
work?
knows
Though?
suddenly he has the power to use that electromagnetism to like mess with their brain cells to manipulate them to get them to do whatever they want.
That makes no sense. And then okay, and then it's trying to say, okay, should Magneto then be able to touch Charles Xavier and go?
Well, only he can only control
He killed
magnetic
him.
field, but for him, it's like more of an electric magnetism, if that makes any sense.
But wouldn't that mean the Electro then essentially could do that?
Maybe.
So basically saying, oh, Amazing Spider-Man is bullshit and No Way Home is bullshit.
I guess it's probably a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, I'm just saying they're just literally they're rewriting the fucking laws of like of these powers.
Clark tries to explain it and tries to make sense of how that fucking power works, and it sort of makes sense, but not really.
Kryptonite is full of magic powers, Chloe. Yep, I agree.
It gives them mutant
that right there would have made more sense.
powers.
I love the part in the episode where Seth and Lana run away together. Like Lana steals all the money from the Talon drawer and in front of Lex. That was gutsy of
She
her.
was easily on his side, just like that.
She told everybody we're
closing.
off. We're closing, and Lex is like on the phone, like I'll call you back, and then she's like, I'm like, Lex is like we're not close. And I'm just like, damn. And then she steals his card after that too.
Yeah, and then Clark speeds out there, melts the road with his heat vision.
No, that's Seth's card. What was the character's name? Fuck, I can't remember.
Seth.
Oh, Seth. That was Seth's card that he stole.
Yeah, I got confused for a second.
Anyway, Clark speeds out to the road, melts the road with his heat vision, which, considering what is implied about Clark's heat vision, you know what? I'm just going to leave that alone because I'm sure you all watching or listening.
I don't think that was a far stretch. I mean, he can literally melt the concrete street.
No, I mean, considering what we know, like in the Heat episode, considering if you know,
sex.
Every time he gets horny, he thinks of sexual things in his mind, and he uses
explosion in his pants. Explosion in his pants.
Well, except it was apparently so hot that it melted the concrete in the road.
Clark busted his load on the road.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what my mind.
He definitely busted.
And Lana got caught in it.
Yeah, Seth hung her out to dry. I was like, you piece of crap.
By the
I
way,
know.
let's
He
talk
just
about that
dipped.
scene. Can we talk about that scene? Because
Yes,
I
we
was
can.
like, okay, when the fuck did he become Spider-Man? Because he goes, he said, do you love me? He goes, yeah. Like, what the fuck? When the hell did this
Apparently he's
happen?
a fucking mastermind of parkour.
And he's on the side of the truck like that.
Yeah, I was like, well, why did the cops not catch him? Like they were
He's
not
on
that
the back
far
of the
away from the
truck.
road.
He's
Again,
on the, he's like, he's right there. He's right
He's
there.
literally right there. Go
That
get chased
motherfucking-
after this dude.
He's like right there. And they
You
just try
idiot.
this line, put your hands up. He's right there with the fucking truck. And he's hanging out like this. He's not disguising himself. He's like this.
And as when Lana was in a jail cell, she just pulled that bullshit story about having that Seth has a brother and grandfather to throw Clark off trail, which I don't know what the hell was that about.
I wonder if the brother is related to the same dude from the diner in Bloodhaven from the Zero episode.
Oh boy.
Oh, when
Wouldn't
also
that be a twist?
Dennis I just want to go back 1 second to the diner to the fucking trucks. Didn't it seem crazy? Remind you of Spider-Man 3 when the new Goblin Harry sitting up high and the bus drives by.
Oh yeah, when it drives by and he can have superhuman speed to disappear. It's
Well,
like it
boy,
happens
the
in a
best-
lot of cliche villainous roles that they always disappear instantly whenever there's a truck nearby. It's so cliche. That shit's been done so many times before. Like, come on, really? Like,
That
how
shit
can
made
you
me
run
laugh,
that
though. I'm just
fast?
saying, I always thought that had the same mindset watching this, going,
Did you
okay, so
remember?
they just
Do you
pulled a Spider-Man
remember?
thing.
Do you remember in Scary Movie 1 when Cindy was in a classroom and she sees the killer, and you see him just running off and act like he just disappeared at an instant. And
So-
he just doesn't run like one. That was
Clip
like
is-
the most perfect scene that they can easily just poke fun of.
Clip
I
is
mean-
going in. Clip is going in.
I mean, just saying that was so stupid, though. And just imagine, like, the cops just say, hey, there he is, turn around. And Lana,
How did they not see him jumping onto that moving truck?
he's just hanging on there, like Spider-Man going,
Like, how far away were the cops?
they were
Yeah.
right there. They should have saw his ass jump on there. I've seen enough live PD to know, and cops to know, when you guy jumps onto the back of the thing, the cops are like, and then the other suspect jumped onto the vehicle, and then a live pursuit chase.
We're in pursuit.
And instead, he's just like this, like he just like jumps on there, and he's just like, I got away. It's just how stupid is that?
Lit-
I lost him.
Literally, everyone's vision in this movie is like this, like they're a horse in the.
Did they have some goddamn peripheral vision?
And don't even get me started with Clark. He literally stalks Lana to go to. Lana goes to a fair, and then he just shows up and
Clark
creeps
literally
on
just
her.
stalks Lana at a carnival, stalking the two of them when they're on a date. Like, really? I mean, I understand that you want to be the protective friend and looking after Lana from psychos that tries to get with her. I mean, I get it, but come on, dude. You got to be better than that. I mean, I know you're trying to protect her and all. Don't be one of those stalkers of like Jellick's ex-boyfriend.
I'm just saying that shit though. Like Clark, I'm like, Clark, come on, man, you are better than this, man.
I mean, yeah, I know he was understanding the suspicious because she was literally about to say no to Seth when they were about to go on their first date, and she didn't really understand why she said yes in the first place.
Also,
I don't know. I guess I was trying to make you jealous, I guess.
Incredibly hypocritical on Clark's part, because I'm old enough to remember when this man pushed Lana away.
This will never work.
Weeks later.
We're not together anymore, and that was your choice.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
And now all of a sudden he's like, "Ah, I lied." I'm just sitting there like,
It's like he's being hypocritical. He is being hypocritical.
like Clark, my brother in Christ, you need to shit or get off the pot when it comes to Lana.
It's
Seriously.
like, dude, let Lana go. You literally blew it. You decided to not be with her because you didn't want to put her in any danger, physically or mentally.
Which also, did y'all get a Joe Dirt reference in this movie? I felt like there was a Joe Dirt.
It's been a while. It's been a long time since I
Because
watched Joe Dirt. I can't
This guy
remember.
gets injured, meets, and basically Lana and him have interaction at a carnival.
Oh, right,
He gets injured, and then he brings as a date Lana back to the carnival he works at, just like in the movie Joe Dirt. And I'm just like, did they really just rip off Joe Dirt? Like, are you serious?
I didn't think about it. I did not think
really
about
just
that.
rip off Joe Dirt. I'm like, oh my god, no, they did not. They're not that stupid to rip off Joe Dirt.
Of all things, Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt in the dirt.
So especially it's a carnival too. They take him to a carnival. Which Joe and I will say Joe Dirt did it better because she's like, yeah, it's great that you took me to the place where you work at. I just met you. Like, just like making it sound like he's the idiot here. While Lana, she's just like, yeah. Well, she's
Yeah, but didn't she mention that he spelled her name with spaghetti and spaghettios or whatever, those alphabetical?
Alphabet soup.
Yeah, alphabet soup. Yeah, soup. Yeah, alphabet soup. That's what it was.
Well,
Which is kind of little
I do like that
suspicious.
Lex asked Chloe to look into his grandparents more. I do like that
Yeah.
aspect of it.
No,
And
that was the best part about the episode.
I do love that. I thought that was well done, especially how Lex is like trying to like figure all this stuff out. All the Lex and Chloe stuff was great.
Yeah, and she's trying to figure out he's trying to figure out why is Chloe digging into Lionel's past. Even though he's the one digging into his past, so they have a common interest.
Did you see the Chloe kissing Clark scene? I bet you Chloe was like,
Dude,
finally!
Here's the thing.
She's
Chloe,
like,
even though they were trying to pull a diversion from the doctor, a distraction so that they don't get in trouble and what they're up to, she'd been wanting to kiss him. She was waiting the opportunity to make that move.
She knew what she was doing, but that train has left the station, and that toothpaste is not going back in that tube.
But I'm still happy that Chloe's not like whining a lot about the love life with Clark. I'm glad that she's like moving past it at least for right now.
Yeah, thank God for that. But one more note before we move on to the next episode. I love how when Clark has community service, he just wears like one of those traffic safety vests, but Lana has to wear like a full-on uniform with big old.
She was wearing a jumpsuit. She's wearing a jumpsuit. I was like, wow, I didn't know the community service can do that. I mean, maybe if you're a custodian and working at a custodian at a hospital, maybe you wear a jumpsuit, but then you just wore an orange vest if you're going out and picking up trash.
Which I thought that was so funny. I really thought that was funny though. She
got busted. Now she is doing community service. Even
she's
Steven.
like, I kind of deserve this. Like, honestly, also I hated the fact that Lana was like, yeah, I shouldn't have trusted Seth. And then Seth comes and rescues her with his powers. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well,
like,
she was literally screwing
Seth,
with Clark.
I knew it.
She
like
was
Harley Quinn
because she was trying to throw Clark off the trail, pretending like, oh, I'm sorry that I trusted Seth, sucker.
Clark actually went there.
He bought it so easily.
He listened to her and
he
went
bought it
there
so easily.
He went there and came back. Clark actually went there and came back like, I went there, I couldn't find like, maybe you think she duped you, you dumbass?
Yeah.
Like, you probably should have waited for like an hour.
Hey,
to make
love
sure
is blind. Love is blind.
He actually went there. I'm like, Clark is that stupid. He actually went there. I'm like, this is supposed to be Superman, guys. Just want to point out he's supposed to be Superman.
Not yet. Not there yet.
But like I'm just saying, he actually went there. Like, I believe her.
And and he was able to track Seth down, Lana and Seth down with using a compass because he's like big gigantic magnetic field, and he was able to use the compass to search for him.
What if he would have went?
And he literally went back into the carnival again. Seth went back to the carnival.
Why is he going back to the carnival, dude? Everyone knows that's where.
This is like the fucking second time that they went back to the carnival. Like, come on, dude, you couldn't find a better hideout spot.
We didn't even see him at his house. Like, does he live at the carnival? Does he eat, breathe, and shit at the carnival?
He practically. I'm guessing he practically lives there at the carnival.
It's like the carnival. Whatever happens, because I mean, I'm sure this is not like a regular thing. Like, what happens when there is no carnival? Does he just live? Is he homeless?
I mean, didn't he mention that they were going to shut that place, close that thing down, and take all the rides off the next day, and it's still there?
Yeah, because they had the set for one more day, probably.
But but on that delightful note, let's go to ratings. Jacob, what do you got? 1 to 10.
This is like a 6 out of 10.
Oh, higher than I expected. Matt, what do you have?
I'm a little bit of the same. It's an okay episode. The one highlight we can all agree was Lex and Chloe having a common interest in digging into Lionel Luthor, and that was the better episode that really pushed forward into the episode Shattered.
So what's the score?
So yeah, it's a 6 out of 10. The Seth character and the romance was so stupid and pointless.
I'm going to go 5.5. It was more. I just did not care for this at all. However, everything Luthor related was pretty good. It basically parlayed into just the heartbreak that is the next couple of episodes. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off now. Let's get into season 3, episode 8, called shattered.
Wednesday, the Smallville that will change everything.
What happened? Somebody tried to kill me last night. It's some paranoid delusion.
Why didn't you tell me about this?
You're either with me or against me, Clark.
You can't miss the last 5 minutes. All new Smallville on the WB Wednesday.
When Lex continues to investigate the dark past of his father, he meets Morgan Edge with a new face, the dumbest part of the episode, but we'll get into that, and collects evidence to send Lionel Luthor to prison. However, a hitman tries to kill Lex in his mansion, but he escapes. Clark goes to the mansion to retrieve the evidence against Lionel from the safe and finds that there is no hint to the claimed attempt against Lex's life. When Lionel goes to the Kent farm and tells that Lex is paranoid and delusional over the death of Lex's infant brother years ago. Jonathan and Martha question his sanity. Clark decides to investigate deeper to see if his friend is delusional or there is an evil plot against him. As it turns out, the answer is literally both. Although Morgan Edge is indeed alive, and after both Lex and Clark, Lex's paranoia is real, which leads him to injuring Lana after he suspects her to be a part of the conspiracy. Clark then tries to stop Lex from killing Morgan, and in doing so is forced to reveal his secret to Lex. So this episode is a lot, and this turns out was either the fall finale or the winter finale, because I was talking to Aaron White, big fan of the show.
Oh, this was the mid-season finale.
Yeah, mid-season.
This was mid-season finale, and he's like, I had to wait 5 weeks for the Asylum episode. I'm like, God, I would have just been like ripping my hair out.
It would have driven you crazy. Believe me, it would have. Because I've been through the situation like the show like Smallville, when we get to the mid-season finale, and it just left you on a cliff, like not a cliffhanger, but an ending where I want to know what's going to happen next, and then we get into at least a 5-week break.
An ending, no less, that is essentially we're in the darkest timeline right now. But Jacob, what did you think of the episode?
Well, I actually thought this is a fantastic episode. I was actually thinking about what you thought, because I'm like, I think this is like shows like how much of an asshole Lionel is. Like this is just like Lionel is like 10 plus 10 on dick level right now. Because he literally is just, you would do that to your own son. The fact is he's just giving that performance of like, I feel so bad for my son, even though I'm the one doing this to him.
He's literally gaslighting Lex. Like, this is the gaslighting of all gaslighting, right?
He's literally manipulating everyone that he has paranoid delusion, and that
he
what
drugged
he brought
his
in
own
was
son.
brought back. Yeah, because
child.
it was either that or kill his own son that he was getting, because he was literally getting close to like getting dirt on his own father and putting him into prison and giving him the death penalty.
You know, the thing I loved about this episode the most was that I always had like a seed of doubt of like, is Lex like playing a character or is he actually losing it? Like, because there are several moments where I was like, all right, he knows. But then there are other moments like when he's doing the thing with the Julian with the blanket. I'm like, okay, he is officially like cart him off to Bel Rev now. But it's like,
it really built on the suspense. Like, are you like, it's letting you know that it's trying to make you guess, like, is he really losing his mind and what he's seen is not real, until you get to the midpoint of the episode where Clark is trying to question confronting the security guard, Lex's security, and how did you drug Lex? It was in the scotch. So that's confirming that Lionel staged the whole thing.
And because remember he said in season 3, episode 1, or no, season 3, episode 2. If my
and we should. Oh, well, sorry, I don't mean to interject. I don't mean to cut you off or anything. But in the beginning, when Lex's security got shot, you don't see a blood splatter. We should have spotted that from the moment that he gets shot. There's no blood splatter, so he was clearly wearing a bulletproof vest to fake his own death, to mess with Lex's mind.
And the assassin literally put a little dot, because if the assassin really wanted to kill Lex, he would not put the little dot. He wanted him to see the dot.
Yeah, Morgan Edge, if he wanted him dead, he would never fail. He wouldn't have failed. He would have succeeded.
Like he said, season 3, episode 2. If my father wanted me dead, he would make sure he wouldn't fail.
Yeah, he should have realized. He should have figured that out by now, that he was trying to fucking gaslight him mentally and manipulating everyone and drugged him to make the world think he's out of his mind and he needs psychiatric help.
like I got so emotional when he pulled the gun on his father, and you can
Oh,
tell
that
he's like,
scene itself. Wow, what an
That
intense.
scene
Like
was
he
so
really brought that performance going
he's
nuts.
like, he said, Julian is not here, Lex. Like, I mean, between the scene, he's just like, he's
Like,
Why not do the whole thing on Oprah? You know, spill our dysfunctional guts on national TV like regular families do.
Are you seeing Julian again?
No, I can't take it when he cries, Dad.
I can't handle crying anymore.
I was like, oh my god, like, and then he's holding the baby. Like,
he's like, hey, why don't we have a man on Oprah, just like on national TV, like normal families do? I was like, damn, dude, I don't know if that was improvised. That could have been an improvise from Michael Rosenbaum.
That must have been, and I'll say it. I've said it before on the show, and I'll say it again. Michael Rosenbaum is the Lex Luthor.
He should have gotten an Emmy for this episode.
I know he should have. Like, I don't understand why they couldn't give him an Emmy nomination at all. I mean, yeah, sure, it was like essentially more like a superhero show, but it's not really a superhero show. If you watch the show in context, the tone and the acting, it was like Emmy level performance.
Yeah, no offense to Gene Hackman, full offense to Kevin Spacey. Michael Rosenbaum is absolutely the Lex Luthor.
Dude, we can all agree. We can all agree he's the best Lex. Even James Gunn even told him on the podcast, like, dude, you literally are the best Lex.
I mean, he is but we have 10 seasons to grow with this Lex versus
yeah, we had like several seasons with him, and
so basically we have with the movies, you only get like 20 minutes to establish
at least like a few movies with Gene Hackman. Mostly the first one, he's great, but then second one was a little too silly. They make him a little bit of a wimp, and then the Quest for Peace was kind of like ugh.
Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor created Nuclear Man. I rest my case.
And also, there's a goof in the episode because they on Talkville for Shatter. They said there's a scene where Lionel's at the farm and Lex is peeping through them. They actually broke character. That's in the
no. That was Alison Mack. Yeah, Alison Mack broke character. If you catch her closely, and yeah, Tom Welling did brought this up on Talkville that she was laughing up near like Tom Welling.
And then they all started laughing.
She definitely like smirk. You could totally tell.
They said the only person that wasn't laughing was Annette O'Toole, who was not laughing. Everybody
she
else,
was not laughing.
Lionel Luthor was like smiling.
I didn't even catch that when Tom Welling brought that. I was like, wait, she did? I didn't notice.
She was doing this like laughing. And
she was just
Tom started laughing, and then John Glover started laughing, and so did Jonathan Kent.
But I think this is as good a place as any to get into Morgan Edge because oh my god. Like I understand, and Jacob, we talked about this off air. Like Rutger Hauer was allegedly difficult to work with, and they couldn't get him back. Okay, fine. Who found this random schlub to be like Morgan Edge? I'm like what are we doing here, people? If you wanted to kill him off, just say, "Oh, he met his end. He's sleeping with the fishes."
Right? They killed him off, and then they had to bring him back because they had. I'm like, why? Why just like say like, hey? I mean, that just so stupid. Like, oh, I hated that so much.
I didn't mind that. I didn't think he was that bad. I thought he did a really good job acting with Morgan Edge and trying to fill in the shoes with the other actor. And they had to come up with excuses from a different actor. Instead of just saying that, yeah, he's a different actor portraying Morgan Edge, but then they have to come up with a story where, yeah, he had a plastic surgery and he's trying to change his identity, change his appearance, which was a little bit silly and far-fetched.
I will say, in defense of that actor, it does look like, well, if Rutger Hauer got plastic surgery, it looked like he would look like this guy.
Yeah, I buy it. I buy
that. So,
and I think that bringing back Morgan Edge was kind of like pushing further in the story. That would make a little bit more sense and try to get dirt on having Lex getting Morgan Edge to confess to what the murder of his grandparents and that Lionel was responsible for.
Yeah, which also I thought, I kind of like also thought, when it was him dying in the episode before, was being killed by Lionel's security team, that was much more cooler than him dying by Lex just shooting the car and then Clark going.
I thought that shot was dope.
It was
still, it was silly, but that was pretty dope. I mean, how he went out was a little bit stupid. I wish they could have handled his death a little bit better.
Car crash.
But that car crash with Clark simply stops the car with his
elbow.
It's so good
they use it as the intro for Tom Welling in a couple of seasons
later. They do. I do. A couple of seasons later, they will use that intro.
Which I will say this though, Tom Wallen said that the guy that they got to replace Rugger, they said when Rugger was doing it, they said he was difficult to work with.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
he was difficult to work with.
I said he was very difficult to work with. Rugger was, but as for what's his name, as for the other guy, he said he was a pleasant guy to work with. They said he was very pleasant, and they said he was really nice, and he was a really fun guy to work with. They said had no issue with him compared to Rugger, who they did have issues with. So, like he got mad because he was trying to smoke a cigarette out there, and like you can't smoke here, and he got pissed off. They got Rugger Howard. That's what Tom Welling was telling the story on Talkville about.
The actor who replaced him is Patrick Bergen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did say that there was an incident that happened on set where Rugger Howard had to smoke a cigarette, and like he pulled a cigarette out, and they're like, "You can't smoke on set." And then he gets mad, starts screaming at one of the producers. And
so they got into a big fight and lost their temper.
Yeah.
So Patrick Bergen, he's been in a few movies. He's been in Robin Hood. He's been in Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts, and he's been in Patriot Games.
Oh wow, so pretty good credits there.
Yeah.
Did you also? I like the scene. I really like the scene though when he's holding the baby. Go, shh, wake up the baby.
Oh man,
that
was crazy.
So messed up. And so let me ask you this, Ryan. What did you think of the whole Julian thing? What's your thoughts on that?
If they introduced it in the episode, like I thought it would have been a little contrived, but there is like a previous oh yeah, they've brought this up before. So it was like I could connect with that. So I liked it.
And also, did you like how at the end how he's Lex? When he sees Clark, he's like, Clark, how did you do that? And then you see Clark, and then all of a sudden the doctor's coming. He's in a straitjacket, and they play that Johnny Cash song.
To see if I still feel only thing that's real. What have I become? Goes away in the end.
I should get some sleep.
Did you feel like want to cry when you were looking at that?
Any use of Johnny Cash's Hurt is a 10 on 10 for me, but that whole ending where Lana is in the hospital bed, which, by the way, bit of a sidebar, Lana gets her leg completely crushed by a horse, and she's like laid up in bed, and she has the depressing line of, I need to stay away from you, which that'll break your heart. And then like Lex is full on straitjacket mode, and he's in the rubber room, and like Lionel's looking at him through the double-sided mirror, and then Clark's looking at Lana, and it's all soundtracked by Hurt by Johnny Cash.
It was a great transition. Great transition scene. And Lionel's like, hey, he loves his son more than he loves himself, but he knew that he had to get him committed, try to have him have his memory wiped from his 6 weeks of not knowing anything about Lionel being responsible for the death of his parents. If he did not care about his son, he would have had him killed. He would have done it, but he didn't want anything to happen to him, so he had to figure out an alternative.
That right there shows you that Lionel does care about Lex. If he's willing not to kill him, but just hurt, he's like, yes, I'm doing this so that way I don't have to kill you.
I so desperately want to get to Asylum, so let's. I think we've covered just about everything.
Can I say one more thing about Shattered?
Yeah.
Before we get some. The only thing I had an issue with is at the end, Michael Rosenbaum is just like this, going like this, like it seems like he's trying to laugh, and then John Glover's giving this Oscar-worthy performance of like, my son, and then Michael Rosenbaum's playing it like as if you're like a crazy. They just tell, hey Michael, play crazy. Papa, are you there? Papa, are you I just like saying you could tell Michael must have knew John Glover was on the other side of the glass, and he's just trying to make him laugh, and they're just like, I didn't think they were going to keep this take. I thought they were going to keep another take, and so they just kept that take to fuck with Michael Rosenbaum. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that's what it feels like. Is John Glover's giving this Oscar like he wants to cry doing this, and then when you got John, he's like Michael Rose was like, Papa, just like that to me. I just thought I kind of wish you would have played it differently, where he's because Lex in his head knows that he's right. He's not crazy, so he should have played it that way instead of playing it like they just gave him some good.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when I watched that scene. I'm like, yeah, he's just devastated that now he's in a straitjacket, but he knows he's right. He's right about this, that he was drugging him and he was manipulating everyone.
Yeah, but so I do think that this episode's great. So if I had to give it a score, I'm going to give it a This has to be like a 10 out of 10 episode.
All right, Matt, what you got?
Yeah, this is a 10 out of 10. Definitely an incredible,
It is
perfect
perfect.
episode. And
You
way
know,
to end the mid-season finale and be
legit,
frustrated for 5 weeks.
legit, I was afraid I was going to be the only one, but I was going to go 10, and you all were going to be like, oh, Ryan's full of shit. But no, we are simpatico. This
No,
episode,
this is something we
10,
can all agree with. This episode it's a banger episode.
10 on 10. And I will say before we move
Even
on,
with Rugger Howard. No Rugger
They
Howard.
made this episode took a turn in the tone itself. It's more grounded, it's more darker than any other
And
episodes
you
that
think
we've
this is the most fucked up episode, Ryan? This is not the most fucked up. There's even a bigger fucked up episode that happens later on this season.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, do you think this is fucked up? There's even more something that's fucked up.
Oh god, I cannot wait to get into that
We're
when we
several
get
weeks
there.
away from that episode.
Well, no, we're going. It's going by fast.
We're like 2 or 3 weeks away.
well,
Yep.
Well, one more note before we do move on to Asylum. I'll make a grand statement. The ending of this episode was better than anything that I saw in the MCU in the year of our Lord 2023. I stand by it. That is my mission.
Wow, really?
I am like the tree that sits by the waterfront. I shall not be moved. So let's move on now to season 3, episode 9, called Asylum. Lex is committed to the Bell Rev Sanitarium. I wonder if he ran into Harley Quinn in there for the criminally insane.
Or the Suicide Squad.
Well, this is Belle Reeve. Oh yeah, that's where the Harley Quinn.
I'm glad you all got the reference. Lionel
I got the reference.
Lionel forces the shrink, Dr. Claire Foster, to submit Lex to an experimental electroshock therapy technique, think the ending of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, to erase his memory and forget his past events. Clark visits Lex and after finding out, decides to try and save his friend. Despite protests from Jonathan and Martha, that Clark's secret is known by Lex. But 3 of Clark's adversaries reside in Bell Rev: Eric Summers, Van McNulty, and Ian Randall, who join forces to attack him so Eric can steal Clark's powers again and escape the asylum. Meanwhile, Lana begins to distance herself from Clark while she attends physical therapy to recover from her broken leg with the support of a charming patient named Adam Knight. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this episode as well. And I mean, I don't even know where to begin. So Jacob, what do you got?
Well, Puddin', I got a lot of stuff. No, I'm just kidding. So basically, I really like this episode. I like how it starts out where he's drawing that picture, and it's just like the picture doesn't feel like the picture's foreshadowing.
A little bit, yeah. I thought it was clever how he like popped the pills into the paint. So it was like oh, he took them, but like no, he didn't. So like he's trying to resist any way he can. That was subtle, but I love
the painting. Like it feels like I love that. I love it. I thought this was the opening, especially where he's like he tries to like he tells his dad, "I'm cured now. You don't have to worry." And his dad's like, "I'm not buying your bullshit." And then he's like, "Ah, let me out!" Like you're not helping your case, dude.
I'm like, Lex, my friend, I'm rooting for you, but you can do better than that.
And then he climbs that fence, and he's like, "Oh, oh!" And I'm like, "That didn't taste your ass yet, dude."
I mean, nice escaped attempt, and I love that opening, the ending of that opening. But at the same time, I was just like, either that fence is electric or they've got guards on them. And sure enough, it's
those were the guards, and those were like spiked fence that he's climbing over, and he just gets tased in the back.
Which had to suck because
I mean, it was a great escape attempt until the very end.
Yeah.
Also, I love how he tells Clark, "I know your secret. Can you get me out of here?" And
Oh,
Clark,
he's trying to get him to break him out of that
Clark
asylum.
looks at that camera like, "Oh shit!" Like,
but also, like, there shouldn't be any audio in that surveillance camera.
Yeah,
there's no microphone in the cameras.
I've worked with a few security cameras in my life. That's not how security cameras work.
Yeah, that really bothered me. That especially at the end when Lionel's seen in the recording while Lex and Clark were having a little bit of a discussion and saying, "Hey, I know your secret." It's like, what the hell did they have audio in that surveillance camera? How does that make any sense?
Yeah,
there was a guy in the background doing this, like, "Don't worry about me."
especially at the end where Lionel's doing his whole like back and to the left, back and to the left thing with the security footage.
Also, I did like that scene. So then it shows that Lionel's on. Lionel is on like how you always say, like Lionel is playing Chinese checkers and chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
Yep.
That's true.
Lionel's literally ahead. I think honestly, Lionel, and this doesn't really define itself really. I mean, I guess you could find the right answer later, but I honestly think, this is just from my opinion, that Lionel knows about Clark. Because
if he
he's
doesn't,
got a whole fucking file on him.
It will legitimately.
No, I don't think he really fully knows. I think he just has his suspicions, and that's why he's always like on to him and wanting to know
He's got
more
a whole
about
file
him.
on Clark. He's got like several files on Clark, and he has Chloe to investigate Clark. And I think Lionel knows.
He knows that there's special
He knows
about
he's
him,
he
but
knows
he
he's not
doesn't.
normal.
But he doesn't really. He knows he's not normal, and he's trying to get more answers. Kind of
He
like
doesn't
with
know he's
Lex.
an alien.
Lex
He
is so
knows
obsessed with Clark too. He wants to know the answers of where did Clark came from? How is he so special? How is he shown up to every crime scene conveniently?
Lionel probably got his own wall of weird on Clark, where he's just like,
But that's why Lionel wanted Chloe to spy on Clark and like investigate him.
Which
It wouldn't be
I will say
surprising.
though, I do like that how you have all these villains. Like you got the racist.
Yeah, you got
and then
Ian, you got Eric returning, and then you got the
got
meteor
the-
freak hater.
Which,
yeah.
by the way, Jacob, when Jonathan Taylor Thomas dropped the KKV line, I immediately
Ku Klux
thought
Van.
Yeah, he said the Ku Klux fan.
Isn't Ku Klux Van?
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
He's referencing when he says he thought of me. He's referencing, because we made the joke earlier in the episode. Not
That he's
because,
that the guy's
he thinks I'm
racist.
like that. I just want.
Yeah, I cannot believe I forgot that he said that to him when he meets up with them.
Well, he met a pretty fitting end when Ian turned into a double and he like just strangled him with.
I bet he was.
Oh
so
yeah, no, they
pissed,
just
too.
like broke his neck from that
He
weight
was so
when they
pissed
crushed
too,
him.
because he's like, because they're not gonna team up with him. He's a racist. He's like,
Yeah,
he
he's a
kills our
racist. He's a
kind for fun.
it's every person for themselves. They have a common interest to take out Clark, and as they're going to take it out of that Belle Reve, but they're going to use each other.
It was
like,
nice.
I mean, obviously they're criminals. They're like, look, we're basically our own.
And also,
suicide.
how does there a weight room in the asylum? There's a weight room.
There's weight rooms in prisons. So
Oh no, in prisons that's true, but I didn't know that
but
they
like
have
in
weight rooms
asylums,
in
I don't
an
think
asylum.
they have like padded rooms.
Don't you think that will be a little bit dangerous, especially with mental patient that could be endangering to someone?
I mean, it's not like.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything because I take that with a giant grain of salt. I'm just a little nitpicky.
No, fair enough. But it was nice to see Sean Ashmore back because out of the three, he was my favorite.
The boombox guy. We reference him three times.
Oh, the boombox. Yeah, he's the boombox guy.
I love that scene clip. That is my favorite scene. When he, I wish he would have had a boombox literally whenever if he would have just like walked by with Clark with a boombox playing or something.
No, but I love.
I mean, but I love the idea that we're seeing these meteor freaks that Clark helped put in them in Belle Reve, and how now there's a little bit more consequences when they want their little payback against Clark for what he was responsible for, because he's responsible for putting them in there in the first place.
I like how the security guard tells him.
I love how
You're a
this
very
show
popular guy.
rewards you for paying attention, because like when I saw those people, I'm like, hey, I remember you, and I was thinking to myself, I hope they do something with you, and they do, and it's great.
I think it's funny how they got Jonathan Taylor Thomas, which Michael Rose has a funny story with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Said he was in the glass, he was in that cage, and he says in the scene where he says, you need a book or something.
What do you do if you got an itch? What do you do if you had an itch? And he just turns around and is like, just farts. Like that was like, you can literally watch that in the gag. It's in the gag reel, and I laughed so hard watching that. I watched that on loop.
I'm going to find it.
He told him, I got a fart.
Reel,
he says, I got a fart, guys. And he said, we can't get you out of this. Well, I got a fart. And
he's like, hey, you're all tied up in a cage. Sometimes you just let it go.
Like, really, dude? Like,
it just happened. You're all tied up in a cage. Sometimes you just let it go.
And guess what? Also, I like that they brought Sean Ashmore back.
I mean, come on. Michael Rosenbaum is a goofball on set, and he farts a lot, according to the cast members.
I mean, it would have been funny if like JTT was like, yeah, I was in The Lion King, so screw you. Or something like that.
It's just funny because when you can't help yourself. There's gonna be moments when you're like tied up in a cage, and then you're about to fart and you can't help it. There's gonna be moments where you just can't like hold it on for so long.
I mean, look at
for
all
that
these actors
moment,
that wear
he just
suits.
turns his head. It's like, it's like,
All
oh
these
my
actors that wear superhero suits, like, you know, they have to piss in their own suit. That's what Christian Bale says. He tells all the actors that get asked for advice on playing Batman, get a zipper or something to piss in.
Yeah, he gave the advice to Ben Affleck when he was filling in the shoes,
Make
being
sure
the
you
new
can piss in your
Batman.
suit because
Make
it's
sure
gonna
you
go
can piss
air.
in this suit.
In his Welsh accent, piss in suit. That's a terrible.
Because we're in the superhero outfit, the costumes, like it takes like a couple hours to put them on. Like,
Yeah.
like they have to like come up with how do they go to the bathroom in the suit? They need to have it like built like a zipper or something.
It's like in that
Henry
movie, The
Cavill
Right.
said he didn't have
Or
it.
what if you had to take a dump?
Henry
You only
Cavill
need a
said in The
zipper
Man
on
of
your.
Steel they gave him finally a zipper in Batman versus Superman.
They did.
He
They
said,
actually did.
He
You
says,
know,
I did not have it. I got to hold my piss. You know, and everything. And he says, and so they're like, you got to hold your piss. I'm sorry.
You
And
you
so
just
we get
you
that
just best
costume
be
off you.
sure that you don't have any fluids while you're filming the movie while you're in the costume, and make sure you didn't eat anything that make sure that you had to take a number 2, because that would suck. Getting that suit off and trying to go to the bathroom.
Oh, they tell you they have costumers that have to go to the bathroom with you, and they have to literally just do this while you're taking a shit. They're just like, and you're just like, do we really
They're
have
like,
to?
oh,
Yes,
oh, dude. They're like, oh, dude.
I noticed you didn't wash your hands, sir.
Did you wash your hands?
You didn't wash your hands.
You know,
Like,
Wash your hands and use sanitizer.
One of my
I
favorite.
mean, it's like you're fucking working at a fucking like retirement home and trying to get the old people like fucking get them to do their business, and you have to hold on and shit.
Yep.
One of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called The Right Stuff. It's about the first U.S. space program, and it's about there's a scene where Alan Shepard is about to do like the first American in space. He's in the capsule and he's like, I gotta pee. And there's like a whole like 10-ish minute debate on like, can he pee in the suit because no one had ever gone into space before, or like NASA hadn't sent anyone up to space before. And so it's and so it's just this whole thing, and it's so funny to me. I can't quote it, but I'll put some footage in post. But just hearing us talk about that, it just reminded me of that. I don't know why. But
Always piss in. If you're a superhero in the future, ever play a superhero, always make sure you can piss and shit in your suit.
absolutely.
Obviously, make sure you have a suit that has a zipper built into it, so you don't have to have 10 people helping you take a dump.
But Lex gets fried at the end of this episode, and I wanted to pose this question. It is a screwed up scene, like seeing Michael Rosenbaum in that position, like just it happening. I was just like, how did the WB get away with this? I wonder. But at the end where it's like, seems like he's docile now, and then he gives Clark that hug. I was like, okay, how much did that really work? Like, I have a feeling that he's knowing more than he's letting on. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's more to it than that.
Well, Lionel was like waiting to get the electric shock therapy ready, and it took them like weeks to get that shit ready to erase the memories from 6 weeks. And also, it could be very fatal because if you use it, if something goes wrong, you're going to be turned into a vegetable. And he was playing a game of chicken, like for his own gambling, his own life.
Also, I do like how whenever the guys they're getting the powers, and then like basically the Sean Ashmore is like, fuck you, I got superpowers. He just throws them around.
But did he not think about that Clark was going to use the kryptonite against Eric? I mean, you do know that it can weaken you too once you take his powers from him.
You
He
get
did not
Clark
didn't think about
also
it.
get his curses.
I guess he just got cocky. He got way too cocky when he got his powers back, and it was just an adrenaline rush for him.
He didn't take Han Solo's advice. Great job, kid. Don't get cocky.
Great kid, don't get cocky.
Why wouldn't he leave? Instead, he's like, I'm gonna go back and kill Kent. And I was like, what?
He got very personal because he put him in the asylum, wasted 2 years of his life, and he wanted payback. That's what it really was. It was never really about escaping the place. He just wanted to really hurt Clark very bad.
But to put the period at the end of this particular sentence, I just want to say that I think Lex knows more than he is letting on. Like, I'm sure it worked, but I think that he knows, and I feel like this is a time bomb just waiting to explode. But let's talk about Lana's plot for a bit, which was really dumb. Like, I did not like this guy at all. And, like, literally, Clark is on this stretcher about to get fried himself. Lex is about to get fried. Go to commercial, then smash cut to Lana, like, doing her thing with this idiot. And I'm just
With
sitting there
Adam
like,
West, I mean
what
Adam
are we
Knight.
doing? Go back to the... I was so mad when we got back to Lana and her bullshit. I'm like, come on, guys, no.
Yeah, which Ian Summer Holden, actually the showrunners had addressed, like, I think, like, because there was a big debate if Ian Summer Holding was Bruce Wayne or not, because a lot of people thought he was going to be Bruce Wayne, and I guess what happened, I think his idea was he was written kind of as like a Bruce Wayne, but then what happened, they course corrected. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but they course corrected because what happened is he was written like, as I think they were trying to introduce Batman, because
like they're like written him like he was Batman
because
until
have
they
you noticed
like
his
you said,
name
like
is
they try to
Adam
course correct it.
Knight, Dark Knight, Adam West,
Yeah, Adam West. Yeah, we
Dark Knight. But
Dark
what happened
Knight.
was Christopher Nolan. The reason they couldn't was because after I think they did the first 2 episodes with Ian Somerhalder, they're like, "Oh, Christopher Nolan had just signed on to direct Batman Begins."
Oh yeah, I mean this was like prior to production. I think it was like it was like back in
And
2004 because they
Warner
were about to
Brothers,
go
they
into
said, had to go
production for
back and
Batman
forth on
Begins.
that because the studio was putting their foot down, saying, "Oh, you can't use this, you can't do this because
You can't even try to make him like Batman, not even remotely like Batman. So that's why that they just had to course correct the problems with Adam's character.
Because if you watch the first, I'm not going to tell you what happens next week, but you could tell the first 2 episodes with him are very heavy on the nose Batman stuff. And
Oh
then
yeah,
after
I've
that,
spotted
they
that
start
too.
going in their own direction because you can tell the first 2 episodes are like, "Oh, he's Batman, all right." Oh,
I mean, I didn't mind the Lana scene. I mean, we wanted to see what Lana was up to, recovering from her injury and dealing with physical therapy. And Adam's just he's not just a one and done character that you're going to see in one episode because he's playing a pivotal role in the future episodes.
All right, you guys are the experts here. I'm just the noob, so I will yield and I will take
But also, but he was the character that just like helped
can't
Lana
stop
through
spoiling.
her physical therapy and her injuries. But he wanted to say, hey, stop whining, stop trying to feel sorry for yourself. You need to get through this on your own without anyone trying to hold your hands. Which I thought he was playing the tough love.
I would have fucked with the studio and said my parents were killed.
My
parents were killed in an alleyway when I was just a boy. Just so I had to fuck with the studio because I'm like, well, we already established his parents were killed in an alleyway. What do you want us to say? I said, where are you from? Gotham City.
But the bitter end of this episode is where Clark walks into the Talon and Lana's welcome home party, and he sees Lana, Pete, and Chloe, and he turns around and he walks away. And I was talking to Matt off air about this. I feel like we can debate about this for like a minute or so, but I feel like this is like the beginning of the end of an era almost, where it's like we're slowly transitioning away from them, and like Clark's gonna go down like a different path. I'm intrigued, but it seemed like it signaled the end of something. I can't tell what, and you guys obviously can't tell me, but I don't know. It just felt like an ending. Not the ending, but an ending.
Well, when I was mentioned earlier that we talked about that felt like the ending, to me, that's not how that played out because once he sees Lana, he knows she wants to be around with Clark, but he wanted to keep his distance from Lana, and that way she could be safe. And that's why he walked out of the Talon. I mean, it was never like, oh, this is gonna be the end of the era with Chloe and Pete or Lana. I think the moment that he looks at Lana and they have a big like eye making eye contact, he realized that he just needs to turn around and just be distance from her because that she'd be better off not being around as much.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I might be full of shit and I'll own up to that. But yeah, let's go to ratings. Jacob, what do you have?
9 out of 10.
All right, Matt, what you got?
This is a 9.5 out of 10. Great episode. Another great follow-up to Shattered.
Right. I will agree with you, Matt. I'll go 9.5. The Adam Knight stuff I was not a fan of, but I will put a pin in it and say I will be patient and see where that goes. But at the same time, the rest of this episode was just mint. It's Shattered is better by a little bit, but I am just so psyched. I almost had to stop myself from going on to the next one. I'm like, it's like a like an addiction that I just can't.
Oh yeah, it's an addiction. Like you want to tune into the next episode like so badly.
But I
Episode
pass it
18,
off.
I'm just saying that is the one episode you're gonna love. What is
But
it
I
called?
pass it.
Maria?
But I pass it off to all of you watching or listening. What did you think of these episodes? Let us know in the comments. Love to read what you have to say. It is so great. I'm so grateful to do this show with you guys every week. But Jacob, what do you have coming up? Please don't do the Ernest P. World face at me.
I actually watched, by the way, the Ernest Goes to Camp not too long ago. Now that you mention it, I know it's so stupid. But I always remember used to enjoy it as a kid. But I first off, I'm gonna take a bye week, so because I just did a video game review for Assassin's Creed Mirage, and now I'm gonna take a bye week, and so because I haven't seen no movies lately, and I don't want to just like do something to do something. But next week I have a movie review coming out. I'm not gonna say what it is because it's gonna be a mystery review, but I know what it is. But I just uploaded the Grinch last week, and this week I'm doing a bye week, and of course I got the Assassin's Creed video. So if you want to watch my video game reviews, there's that. And I got this with Ryan and Matt, and yeah, that's about it pretty much. And yeah, you can find me on my OnlyFans. Gotcha.
Jesus. But
Oh
Ryan,
boy.
Jacob's link is in the description. Matt, you
OnlyFans.
got a lot of great things coming to your channel. You just reviewed Aliens, I hear, and you've also got other things coming up in the can. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on recording the Iron Claw that I saw last night. I'm excited to record that review, and I'm seeing Wonka tomorrow, which yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit busy. And I do got I do got a few more James Cameron movies that I'm planning on reviewing because I'm reviewing like all the James Cameron movies that he directed. And I don't know if I will have enough time to record a lot of reviews from the Christmas movies. I might record at least a few of them because we're literally right around the corner that Christmas is coming around.
Christmas is
And,
like
well, and
next Sunday.
yeah, pretty much. But the one thing I wanted to mention in the episode, I know we're pretty much off that topic, but I wanted to mention one thing before we sign off. The episode with Clark being so devastated that now that Lex has no memory for the past 6 weeks and that Lionel got away with it. And Jonathan just had to talk to him and cheer him up and tell him, say, even a person more powerful than you, there's something that you just cannot stop because there's going to be people out there that are more powerful than you. And I was like, oh, that hit really deep. But there's not, even if you have the most powerful, even if you have the most power of the gods, you can't stop a powerful man like Lionel Luthor because it's much bigger than you.
Yeah, 100%. But Matt's link tree will be in the description. As always, go give him a subscribe there. As for this channel, Christmania will be continuing on as we go down the road to Christmas. I want to thank everyone for checking out those videos. I have reviewed some pretty crappy ones, but also a couple of really good ones. I really enjoyed Scrooged. It was really good. But those reviews will be continuing until the 25th. And then Smalltalk, as always, every Tuesday, excuse me, here on this channel. So for Jacob Collins, for Matt Wyatt, my name is Ryan Cam. For Truth, for Justice, for the American Way, we will see you in the next one. Y'all take care.